dear students of 3rd standard. Let us start with the 3rd lesson from your English textbook. So here you have a story, it is a simple story and you have a moral in that story. So you should concentrate on that moral. So what is the moral about is you should never be selfish. So you should have an open mind wherein you have to try to help others so that you will be also helped by the other people. So here you come to know how the people were selfish in their attitude, and later on a girl was very selfless who helped the soldiers or the person who came from the king's palace, and thus there was a happy ending in this story. So it is a very small story. Concentrate on the story and also the reading, and you have some difficult words wherein I will give you the meanings, and also you will come to know the meanings very clearly with the help of the sentences formed. So shall we start with the lesson, children? Okay, here you have a picture, and what is the heading of the story? That is a light for the palace fire. So how that light was brought, or how there was a problem, or what was the problem that was faced in the palace, all these things it is covered in the lesson. So you have a picture here, the king is sitting and the people in the palace, they have some problem and they are coming and describing it to the king, and thus the lesson starts. Okay, shall we start with the lesson, children? See here, you have the same picture again. Now, a long time ago, there was a huge palace at the top of a hill. A fire always turned in the palace and kept it warm. It was the most useful fire in the palace. So here, you come to know that a long time ago means very earlier days. So there was a huge palace at the top of the hill. At the top of the hill, so at the top you could see a palace there, and that palace was very huge. So there was a huge means very big palace. A fire always turned in the palace and kept it warm. So there was a fire, or the fire was lit in the palace. What was the purpose of having this fire? So it was helping to keep that palace warm, because when you go to the top of the hill, the weather will be cold. You might have experienced it if you have gone to some hill stations like Ooty, Kodaikanal. So there the houses or the main places are only situated on the hill. That's why you call them as hill stations. So this palace was also on the top of the hill, and thus it was very cold, and for the purpose of keeping it warm. So what they had done? They had lit a fire, means the fire only for the purpose of keeping the palace warm. It was the most useful fire in the palace. So it was most useful fireplace, or the fire in the palace. Fire means a place where it is arranged with the charcoal and some firewoods, and the fire is kept burning always. So that is a fireplace. So there was a fireplace, and that place or that fire was very much useful for the people of the palace, or all the king or the queen or the people whoever were there, they found it as a very useful place. One day the fire suddenly stopped burning, and no one was able to light it again. So one day what happened? The fireplace where that fire was burning, so suddenly it stopped burning. The fire, it was not burning at all, and thus there was a problem because no one could light it again. What happened? No one was in a position to light that fire or bring back that fire again, and thus there was a problem. People said that the fire had died because the people in the palace were always quarreling. So there was a discussion among the people. So what was the discussion? That the fire had died, means you cannot lit it again at all. You cannot light it. So the fire has died. What was the reason they were discussing? The reason is the people in the palace. So whoever were there in the palace, they were quarreling a lot. So they were all fighting with each other, quarreling a lot. So that is the reason the fire had died, and henceforth there will be no fire lighted there or the fire lit there. So what is the meaning of the word quarreling? Fighting. Quarreling with each other is not a good habit. So I have put it into sentence so that the meaning is very clear to you. Quarreling means fighting. Quarreling with each other is not a good habit. So we should never keep quarreling with each other. So that is the thing you have to understand. So because they were quarreling, what happened? The fire had died. Others said that it had gone out because the winter that year was very cold. So other people, what opinion did they have? What did they tell? Yes, that fire might have gone because of the winter season. You know, in winter season it will be very cold. So that year the winter season was very cold. So other people, what did they discuss? Because of that winter or because of very cold, the light might have gone or the fire might have gone. Everyone in the palace was freezing and longed for the fire to burn. So everyone in the palace, they were feeling very cold, freezing. Freezing means feeling very cold, as if they are frozen. Frozen means the ice what you see in the fridge. What do? You put water in the tray, ice tray, and it gets frozen. Then only you will have that ice cubes. So in the same way, everyone were feeling very cold and they were feeling as if it is freezing them. And they all longed for. Longed for means wished for. They were wanting something. What is that? The fire to burn. They all wished that how soon that fire can be lit. Children long for the games period. Usually when you are in the school, you wish that you want to go for the games period. So always at the morning when you come to the school, until the end of the school timings, you always wish to have one games class. In the same way, people there, they also wished that the fire has to burn very soon so that they can feel the warmth of the fire. The king ordered his messenger, go down the hill road. If you see fire burning in a house, go inside and ask for some embers to bring back to the palace. Maybe we can light our fire in this way. So now what did the king order? He calls the messenger. Messenger is a person in the palace through whom the king goes on sending the messages. So he is a messenger there. So what did the king tell? He tells, go down the hill road. The palace is on the hill. So he has to go down there to the village nearby. So go down the hill road, and if you see fire burning, in a house, go inside and ask for some embers. Means in all the houses they use fire for cooking. Especially in earlier days, they did not have any gas stove or electric stove. They used to cook with the help of the fire itself. So they had fire burning always there. So what happened? If you go down the hill and if you see fire burning in any of the house. For cooking purpose, they used to burn the fire. So they used to lit the fire. If there is any house where the fire is burning, what you do is you go inside and request them, ask them, I want some embers. Embers are nothing but burning coal. The coal or the firewood, when it starts burning, you will have that embers. In Kannada, you call it as kenda. The burning coal is called as embers. So with the help of this embers also, what you can do? You can lit the fire. So go inside and bring the embers to bring back to the palace. So why is the need of the embers? To bring that and lit the fire in the palace. Maybe we can light our fire in this way. Maybe in this way we can try to light our fire. So the fire is already dead there, means there is no embers at all. If there are burning embers, glowing or burning embers, then you can somehow lit the fire. But here there was no embers, but they all at, what is that, died, or it was off, and it was only turned into charcoal or ash. So there was charcoal or ash. Ash means budi. So the fire was already lit off. So now you go and get the burning embers. So the messenger with the big iron lantern for holding coal set off in the bitter cold. So now what did the messenger do? He took a big iron lantern. Lantern means a lamp with the handle to carry it around. Lamp with the handle. Lantern. In olden days they used to carry that lantern for, what is that? Light, especially in the night. In the olden days, lanterns were carried in the night by the people while traveling. So in olden days, people used to also travel by walk, means they used to go from one place to other place by walk or bullock carts. So when they used to travel like that, they used to have the lantern so that they could have light and also warmth. So he carried such big lantern with him for even holding the coal, or to get he had the coal in that. So it was not burning, he had the coal, he took that in a lantern, he went so that he could put the burning embers in that and bring it back. And how was it? It was very bitter cold. Set off means to leave from there. He left from the palace and he came down the hill. And how was the weather there, children? It was bitter cold. Bitter cold means extremely cold, very cold. So you have the sentence here for that also. During winter, we experience bitter cold in hill stations. So winter season, in our places like this, it will be cold. But if you go to hill stations, it will be very cold. That is, you can call it as bitter cold. A light for the palace fire, he called as he went. Who will give me some coal to light the palace fire? So what was the messenger announcing? A light for the palace fire. I want light for the palace fire. So he went on telling this. Who will give me some coal? Who will give me some coal to light the palace fire? I want the burning coal. There is a need of burning coal. With the help of this burning coal, I can lit the palace fire. Who will give me? There is a need. He went on announcing. Here is some glowing coal for you, said the man. But tell the king that I want gold pieces in return for these lumps of coal. So there was a man who got to hear the announcement done by the messenger. So he came outside and he said, here is the glowing coal. Glowing coal is embers, means it is burning. You have both light and it is burning. And what does it tell? Yes, I have the glowing coal. Glowing, emitting light and flame. Glowing embers will be very hot to touch. So when that charcoal, it is burning, when it is glowing, it will be too hot. If you touch it, what happens? Your hand or your skin gets burnt. So it will be very hot. So he tells, I have the glowing coal. But what does he tell with that? He tells, but tell the king that I want gold pieces in return for these lumps of coal. I am ready to give you the coal, the lumps of the coal. But what should your king do? He should give me pieces of gold. See, he wants something in return. He is not ready to help or serve the king, but he is asking. You cannot tell it as a request. He is asking that he needs something returned, that too gold pieces. So here you come to know the thinking or the mentality of that person. So even though it is required for the king's palace, this man is telling, I want something in return. You have to give me pieces of gold for these lumps of coal. So what is lump? A piece or mass. A piece of something which is which has not got proper shape, or it is a mass. A piece of something, maybe a stone or a charcoal, anything, but it will be shapeless, or you can call it as a lump. A lump of ice was floating in the juice. So when you put the ice cube inside water or a juice, as it goes on melting, it becomes shapeless and it will be floating. So that is the sentence I have given here. So now you come to know the mentality of that person. What does he tell? Yes, I want something in return. So you can see the pictures. Observe the pictures also here. So the messenger put the coal inside his lantern and turned to go back to the palace. So what did he do? So here the messenger, he took the coal from that person, he put it inside his lantern, then he started to go back to the palace. However, the coal soon turned cold and grey and he had to throw it away. So now he has taken the coal, the burning coal, and he has put it into the lantern. He had some more coal which was not burning, but even then what happened? The burning coal also, it died off, or it stopped burning, and thus he threw that coal outside and again he had to search for the burning coal. So the coal soon turned cold. Turned cold means it stopped burning and it did not have flame. The fire was not burning and he had to throw it away. He threw it away. It was of no use because he needed burning coal. With the help of the burning coal itself, he could light the fire in the palace. He had to search for burning coal once again. So once again he started his search for the burning coal. Then a woman called Gina agreed to give him some coal from her fireplace. So there came one more woman, a lady by name Gina. What did she tell? She was ready to give coal from her fireplace. Fireplace, a place for a domestic fire, means a place where you light fire for cooking. So here from her fireplace she was ready to give the burning coal. However, in return she wanted the king to make her father the captain of the guard. So she also had her own wish. So what she wanted? She wanted the king to make her father the captain of the guards or the soldiers. So again she is also asking something in return. So they are not service minded. So they are never bothered to whom they are helping. They are helping to the king, but they are not bothered. They are asking something in return. So this is the important thing you have to observe. The man there and also the lady here. The messenger took some burning coal from the fireplace, put it in his lantern and set off for the palace. So again he took the burning coal from that lady, he put it into his lantern and he started from that place. So he started towards the palace, he started walking towards the palace. However, soon he saw that the coal from Gina's fireplace was no longer burning. So again what happened? The fire from the Gina's fireplace also turned off. So it was also not burning, or the coal completely dried off. It had turned to grey ash. Again it became grey ash. So burning coal or the embers, when they don't burn, they turn into ash. That's what I told. Ash means budi. So they dried off. So he threw it away again and set off again in search of some coal. Now he wanted the burning coal. It was not there. He threw it. Again he went on searching for the burning coal. At last he came to a cottage. Cottage is a small house. Especially in the rural areas, the small houses are called as cottage. Nowadays you see cottages if you go to some resort and all for entertainment, but actually the cottages were referred to the small houses in the rural areas. Cottages are found in villages, small houses. So there he came to a cottage at the foot of the hill. So almost at the foot, the bottom of the hill, there was a cottage. The door opened at once when he knocked. So he went and knocked the door. So he went and knocked the door so that someone will open it. And somebody came and opened the door there. Who was that? There was a little girl inside. So inside that cottage, there was a little girl who came and opened the door. What was she doing? She was stirring the porridge over a small fire. So she was stirring. Stirring means going on mixing or moving the spoon or a big ladle or a spoon, or she was mixing the porridge. Porridge is a dish made by grains in milk or water. So you can also take the meaning as, if it is done as a sweet dish, then you can take it as the payasam, or if you do it for the sick people without adding sweet, you can call it as ganji. That is called as a porridge, a dish made by grains. Maybe it is the rice or your rava. When it is cooked with milk or water without any sweet, then you call it as the porridge. Then the meaning is ganji. If you add some sweet or ghee, everything, then you can take it as a payasam. There are two usages. Porridge is the best food when you are sick, when you are not well. If you have fever and all, your mom prepares and gives you. So that is very mild food which will help you get well soon. You don't add any masala items, you only put little bit of salt and you drink it. So that is why it is porridge. So here what was the girl doing? She was cooking porridge and she was stirring it. And where was the porridge getting ready? It was getting ready on a small fireplace, small fire. So there was a little bit of fire burning, and over that she had kept a vessel and she was cooking the porridge. A light for the palace fire, she repeated when the messenger told her what he wanted. So the messenger, he went and told her that I want light for the palace fire. So the girl again repeated it, a light for the palace fire. She repeated, you may have as much coal as you like. She said, do sit down, though warm yourself and have a bowl of porridge before you. Start out in the cold again. Then you may have half of our fire if the king needs it. So here she tells, you may have as much coal as you like. As much you want, you can take from there. So she tells him to sit down there. She tells him to sit down, and she also tells, sit in front of the fire and warm yourself. And she also gave him, or she told him to have a bowl of porridge. So she keeps a bowl of porridge before him and she tells him to have that. Then you can start out in the cold again, because he also was suffering, or he was also feeling very cold. He had walked so much in search of the porridge. So she tells you, sit here, take warmth, have some hot porridge, and then you can go in the cold again. Then you may have half of our fire if the king needs it. Then you can have half of the fire if the king needs it. The messenger did as the little girl said. Then he lifted a small bright coal from the fire and put it in his lantern. So whatever the girl told, he did. He took warmth, he had some hot porridge, and then what did he do? He took a small coal, or the ember, burning coal. Bright means the burning and hot coal, and he put it into his lantern. He took it in his lantern. It will never burn all the way back to the palace, thought the messenger. So the messenger already had a experience, bad experience. Two places he had taken the burning coal, he had put it inside his lantern, but half away the coal had already, turned off, and there was no burning coal. So even now he thought, okay, this will also not burn all the way. Means till I reach the palace, I don't think so this will burn. Again I may have to come back. He thought that. With each step he took, the coal grew brighter. But what happened? It was really surprising. He could not believe. One coal what he had put inside the lantern, it started burning bright, and the other dried coal in his lantern also were lit. So each step he went front, or the path as he went front, it started burning bright. It lit up the dark road as if the sun was shining, and it warmed him too. So what happened? When he was walking, it was dark. So it lit up the dark road, means there was light. How did it lit up? As though like the sun, as if the sun was shining. So it became very bright, and it lit up the way, means there was light, so that he could walk without any problem, and it also warmed him. So he also got the warmth of that fire. Because of that cold weather, he was feeling very cold, or he was shivering, but because of the warmth, he also felt happy. When he reached the palace, the coal still burned and glowed. As soon as he touched it to the grey logs in the fireplace, they burst into flames. So there he went on walking, he reached the place. By the time he reached the place, still that coal was burning. It was burned and glowed, means it was also glowing. So as soon as he went to the palace, what did he do? He took that glowing coal and he touched the grey logs in the fireplace. Grey logs means the embers which had already dried out, means the coal was not burning, and there were some pieces of firewood which had also turned out. So what did he do? He touched it. The embers he put on that logs which were grey, means there was no light in that. Suddenly what happened? They burst into flames. So everything inside that fireplace started burning. There was flames. Flames means when the fire is lit, you see the flames of fire, burning fire. The fire once again warmed the palace folk. So what happened? Because of that fire, it gave warmth to the palace folk. Palace folk means people who lived in the palace. The palace folk were happy by seeing the burning coal. Palace folk means the people there. So it gave warmth to the people. They realized that this was because selfless love had come with the coal from the little girl's cottage. So here you come to know, and also people there realize that the girl who gave that burning fire, she had a selfless love towards the king also, or she was not selfish. So she was selfless. Selfless means unselfish. She was not selfish. She never thought only about her life, but she was ready to serve the king. That's why she did not ask anything in turn. So in return she did not ask anything, and that is called as the selfless love. Because with that burning embers, there was the selfless love of that little girls from that such a little cottage. That's why there was burning fire again, and they all got the warmth. So this story is very interesting, and it's a very small story where you see two people, the man and the lady. They were selfish. They wanted something in return. They wanted something in return. The first man, what did he need? He wanted pieces of gold. And the next lady, she told that her father should be made the head of the guard. So both of them had asked something. They were selfish. They wanted something for them. But the little girl, she did not tell like that. She told that you can take half of the burning coal, and you can also sit and take the warmth, have some porridge, and then you can go in the cold. So she was so selfless. She served that man also, the messenger. How did he serve him? She gave him porridge, hot porridge. Then she asked him to sit in front of that fireplace to take warmth, because even he was feeling cold. So this is a service the girl gave to the messenger. And what is the service she gave to the king and the palace folk? That is the burning or glowing coal. And that coal went on burning up to the hill. So from the bottom of the hill till the top of the hill, it was burning, and when it was put into the fireplace, all the grey logs there, they also started burning, and it gave warmth to all the people. See, this is a selfless service. Every time we cannot expect, every time we cannot have the desire in us that I have to get this, they have to give me this, or I have to get all the things. So this keeps on making you very selfish. You just think about yourself. So you have to think about everyone around you. Maybe your family members, your friends, your classmates. So you have to help each other. You cannot go on expecting. So you cannot tell your friend that I will give you this pencil, tomorrow you have to give me 2 more pencil. See, these are all the example related to you children. But the people who are grown up, their desires itself is different. So whatever work they do, they expect something for that. So we should be always selfless. We cannot be selfish. We should help each other. So this is the moral of the story, and we should be always ready to serve the people around us, especially the elders in your house or in your neighborhood or in your school. Thus you can be selfless. I think everyone has come to know the moral of this story. Help each other and never keep expecting the help or something from others always. Is it clear? Okay, go through the lesson, that is, listen to the lesson. There are some difficult words with sentences. Listen to that also, and keep watching the video so that you will understand the lessons. Thank you.